the past few years, I have done prediction videos for trends I anticipate seeing within the coming year within the beauty industry. This is something I do just for fun. I'm no psychic. I just enjoy talking about trends I've noticed or things that I assume are going to be trends. I don't know if anybody else has ever looked at those sort of like predictions made by like astrologers or like so-called psychics. Sometimes it's just educated guesses. Sometimes it's really just fun, out there things that probably aren't ever going to come true. And sometimes it's things that could really be altered depending on other external factors. And I think that 2020 was a real example of that. With the pandemic, the beauty industry definitely shifted at least a little bit. Before I dive in with my 21 predictions, because I thought, why not 21 for 21? I certainly don't want to stick with 20. I just want to say hi to everybody who may be new here. I am really happy to have you. This may be a little bit of an odd time. I am doing my equivalent of like Vlogmas this year for the first time ever, and I'm trying to do a video every single day for the month of December. So some of the content you are seeing is not necessarily my regular kind of content. It's kind of like a specialized end of the year kind of content, but I do have a lot of stuff planned for the new year. I am waiting on a lot of actual physical sources to come in for some of my makeup research stuff, so it's kind of a hold up because, well, holidays and also pandemic. So there's many reasons why it's taking me a little bit longer with some of my research stuff, but I do have a lot of ideas in mind. And if you have any ideas, if there are any videos that you would like to see, whether it's a specific concept or if you're interested in hearing about maybe a specific brand or a product, let me know, because I love doing the research and I would be more than happy to look into those kind of things. So with that being said, let's begin with my first sort of prediction for 2021. This is in no particular order, but I think the first obvious trend we are going to see is that continual push for skincare. I think it's really going to be skincare focused. There were definitely sections of the beauty industry that noticed some significant drops in sales, and skincare went up by a lot. If you Google like skincare sales 2020, there's like a bunch of interesting articles, and I believe a lot of them are just like open access. It's very interesting to read about, and some of them even have like stats with some of the figures if they were able to find them. A lot of that information isn't really public yet, but there are some like interesting quotes and things. I just think that we are going to see more a skincare push. I predict that more brands will release skincare focused products, and I believe we'll probably even see some brands that currently don't do skincare do a few skincare items. I feel like we're going to see that extension of some brands that have never really focused on skincare items. So think even just like moisturizers and like under eye creams, like your basic kind of foundation skincare stuff. I think we're going to see that from a lot of brands that don't normally do it. I believe there will be a focus on foundations and concealers that have sort of skin healing properties. I feel like a lot of the same terms, a lot of the same language that is used in skincare advertising will be used in advertising these products as well. It's going to be all about, it's so good for your skin. And I would not be surprised that we see Mask Me thrown around a lot in ads, especially for concealer. During the early 2000s recession, Leonard Lauder of Estee Lauder coined the term lipstick index. So this is the principle that people see lipstick as an affordable luxury, and therefore sales tend to stay strong even in times of duress. Now this wasn't true for 2020, and Estee Lauder instead coined the term moisturizer index. But I believe further into 2021, when mask usage could potentially decline, I believe lipsticks sales will increase again. I believe there will be an increased surge, like think this time next year. I believe that we'll see an increased surge of lipsticks, lipstick sales, lipstick promotions, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some fun colors as well, bolder colors with advertising about like letting your lips be seen and making a very lip focused makeup looks. But I don't see that happening until after mask usage declines. But I do think we will still see a push of lipsticks now. There are definitely some brands that will have had lipsticks that they have been working on for a while, so they're still going to release them. I expect a focus on more neutral lip shades, your lips but better, think shades of pink and brown. I also imagine a lot of it will be like, make sure you look good for your at-home date and for your Zoom meetings. I feel like brands are going to lean more and more into what they feel like everyday people are using makeup more for, because there's so many people that are like, I'm not putting lipstick on to go outside, but then they're going to promote it to be like, hey, but you have at Zoom meeting and this is the perfect lipstick for that. I believe that we'll see a surge in nail polish. I wouldn't be surprised to see some brands bring back nail polish if they used to have it in their lineup before. Nail polish is one of those things that's usually kind of like lipstick, where the sales stay the same or even increase depending on certain times, like in times of certain troubles, economic troubles. I read the book that the founder of OPI wrote. She has some stats in that book about like the late 2000s trouble, and she actually mentioned how nail polish sales increased during that time because people couldn't really afford the big luxuries, and they couldn't really afford a lot of the fun things that they might have normally, but like a $10 bottle of nail polish, definitely doable. Nails are generally pretty visible, so it's a little fun pick-me-up, and it's kind of easy to apply. It's easy to do yourself, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a increase in nail polish and the colors and the formulas. I wouldn't be surprised to see more like colorful sparkly things, with being like the, hey, treat yourself, you can't wear your favorite color lipstick, but you can wear the shade on your nails sort of thing. For lip products, I predict that we will see a lot of balms, light glosses, so things that are glossy but not super sticky, and stains, and some combinations of all three. I feel like that's what brands are going to go for. They're going to go for the light, glossy, balmy things with the it's good for hydrating and nourishing your lips, or with the it's long lasting, it's, you know, smudge resistant, it's mask proof. That's what I feel like the direction's going to be, but I feel like those will be more neutral colors, again, the pinks and the browns, the beigey colors, and maybe some clear options, just like a light gloss or like the clear balm that's just meant to hydrate your lips. That's kind of boring, but that's what I think is going to be the sort of overall lip focus for at least the beginning part of 2021. But with the lesser lip focus, there will be an extreme eye focus. Now, I am Canadian, so I'm really strongly basing this off of the North American experience. I know it will differ in other places, but I feel like the North American, like American especially, beauty industry is so huge and they make so much money that I feel like they are going to try and tweak where they can to still maximize the profits. So I feel like eye focus will be a huge thing. I think that eyeshadow palettes and those sort of products will continue as normal, but I wouldn't be surprised to see an increased push for things like mascara and eyeliner, especially colorful variations of those. I also expect that brands may use this time to revamp their line. They may rebrand, repackage. I could see some innovation going on with certain products. Think like new mascara wands and new packaging. Doesn't necessarily mean that the formula is going to be different, but the outside may look different. The wand may be a different shape. It may be like a special product to see if it works better, if people respond better to like a different color scheme or a different size product. So I really see sort of product switches, those sort of packaging switches. I see that happening a lot, especially for eye products. Glitter is not going to stop. I think in every prediction video I've talked about glitter, and it finally came true. And there's been so many different glitter variations. I really see sort of glitter liners, little things used for little glitter accents. Hopefully brands will listen that we don't really like pressed glitter. I think the overall general consensus is that pressed glitter is a no-no, but there's so many other options for glitter. I've seen a lot of different variations of things coming out. I wouldn't be surprised to see some larger, almost glittery, sparkly, like face kind of stickers, because I feel like that was starting to be kind of a trend, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that continue, because I feel like that's also kind of a callback to the late 90s, early 2000s, which we're gonna see a lot of into like 2021 and onward. It sounds scary, but like it's 20 years ago, so we are going to see those things come back again. And I feel like those like face stickers, I've also noticed that face stamps. So I spend sometimes too much time on TikTok, so I think sometimes I may be a little skewed by what I see some of the younger people on there, but I've also seen it on Instagram where a few brands have those face stamps with like stars and hearts, so like people put like a star or heart here. I feel like that's also a throwback, but I wouldn't be surprised to see those stamps in other variations, especially sort of metallic variations like silver and gold. I believe that for the most part, the eyeshadow color trends will continue the way that they have been. I really imagine seeing more mixed palettes with cool tones and with warm tones, especially neutrals. I feel like it's going to be a lot of these sort of mixed palettes. Some of them might even be called cool neutrals, but they're probably going to be a mix. I don't think we're going to see like overwhelming cool tones yet. It still feels a little too early. Like I feel like this last year we did see a lot more cool tones, a lot more cooler neutral things, but they weren't just flat out on one side. You know, even palettes would have a few warmer shades in it. So that's what I predict seeing more of when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. I believe there will be more natural eyebrows, so brows sort of filled in as necessary and gelled in place, but nothing really sculpted. I don't see any like particular brow trends, just leaving things more natural. That's my brow prediction. I do think we're gonna see dark, smoky eyes a lot more often and a lot more eyeliner. I think it's going to be that little bit of that Avril Lavigne from the early 2000s, but it's also a callback to the 60s mod looks, which is why I think we're going to see some more of that eyeliner, especially with eye focus things. And if you look at some of the makeup that was part of designer runways, especially for like spring 2021, you see a lot of strong black, dark gray, or dark brown shadow or liner, and liner. Sometimes it's a combination of all three, but sometimes there's like just rims of dark color around the eye. There's references to the 60s in a lot of cases, which really isn't surprising to me because I feel like it's going to be the 2020s do the 60s, just like the late 90s, early 2000s did the 60s. It kind of always keeps repeating itself. So I really would not be surprised to see a lot more of those really dark smoky eyes. I believe there will be more silvers and grays with chrome shadows and chrome kind of finishes. The Pantone 2021 colors of the year are Ultimate Gray and Illuminating, which is a yellow. So I do believe there will be nods of that in makeup. So think of the Ultimate Gray eyeshadow, think of different tones of gray and silver, and that's why I think we're going to see some kind of chrome. I feel like chrome finishes was a very like almost futuristic trend. I strongly remember it from the early 2000s with the sort of chrome finish polish, the eyeliner, and the eyeshadow, which I was all about. So I could really see that making a comeback. And for the yellow, I think yellow eyeliner is going to have at least one moment. For colorful eyeshadow choices, I do really think it's going to be blue, green, and purple. I feel like I've said this over and over again, but I really do think it's going to be bright, bold blue, like royal blue, but then I see softer, darker greens, and purples could be a little bit more lilac, a little bit more frosty kind of purple, especially if it's a throwback to like 80s, 90s, even early 2000s. Like each decade kind of had its lilac frosty moment, and I could definitely see the lilac lavender eyeshadow be a thing. I feel like base makeup will be cream skin inspired. So cream skin is a Korean trend, that's the less intense version of glass skin, which was talked about in 2020, but I don't feel like it hit the mainstream yet. Sort of the same thing like when glass skin was a big trend. I feel like it first hit the internet and it took like a couple of years for the mainstream makeup brands to latch onto it and actually produce products that would give like the glass skin effect. So I feel like 2021 is when we'll see more of that cream skin, so just like a less intense version of the glass skin, but still very hydrated, very skin focused. I do think there will be a lot more cream blush. I think there will be serum blushes, a lot of glossy, dewy blushes, especially in the springtime. I can also see some more sort of creamy bronzers as well, just leaning right into that whole skin focused natural makeup. But I could also see some sort of like juicy, unique blush shades, especially in the springtime. I predict that highlighter will be more glossy and wet looking. I think that's the direction that highlighter trends are going to go in 2021. And it's not necessarily just going to be cream products. I do see like there could be some powder stuff as well, but I feel like the emphasis is going to be on like that wet reflective sheen as opposed to like a metallic sparkle or glitter. Of course, this is like a gimme, but influencers and celebrities are going to continue to release makeup and skincare brands. However, I feel like people are so brand loyal, and with the current economy, with money so tight, people aren't going to take as many risks as they did before. So if a brand messes up their initial launch, I think it's game over. Like, I don't think people are going to be as forgiving as they have been in the past. I feel like before, a brand could kind of mess up and people will be like, that's okay, we'll try again, and the people kind of keep being given extra chances, and I don't see that happening right now. So I feel like brands who release now have to make sure they are on it. With e-commerce being such a huge focus of 2020, I do feel like it's going to be a great year for indie brands. I could definitely see quite a few indie brands that have been established for a couple of years making monumental partnerships with other beauty retailers like Sephora and Ulta. I can really see that happening because these retailers are going to want a cut of those profits because these indie brands have been so successful. I've read a few articles. It's very interesting. There's a few journals that really focus on like the cosmetic industry, but I believe one is called DCI. I'm not sure if it's open access or not, but there's been a few articles in there about the increased popularity of indie brands, and they've looked at sort of like social media engagement and what people are saying, and like there's such an increased push for indie brands because people are so much happier with indie brands and like the products that they're releasing and how much more unique those things are. So I predict that those bigger retailers are going to want a cut of that action. So I feel like that in turn will make some of those indie brands more accessible to other people as well. And finally, I believe that brands will once again capitalize on nostalgia. I believe that they'll be releasing old favorites and celebrating some brand milestones. So like you have Becca, which was founded in 2001. That was the first one I found. But Bite, 2011. Bobbi Brown in 1991. A lot of B names, but they all have sort of monumental milestones, anniversaries to celebrate. CoverGirl was founded in 1961, so I feel like they could totally take advantage of that anniversary with a 60s theme collection. Imagine if they did some retro CoverGirl products, opened up the vault and did some throwback packaging to how they used to look like when they launched, just like a fun little capsule collection. CoverGirl, if they don't do this, they are totally missing out on an opportunity, because I feel like with the sort of 60s renaissance that we're no doubt going to get, this would be perfect and would be so successful for CoverGirl and helps to celebrate a big milestone for them. Gucci, the fashion house, so not the makeup side of it, but the fashion house was founded in 1921. So a 100-year anniversary celebration could definitely cross over into makeup. So I definitely see that happening. And on a personal note, 2021 will mark 20 years since the first Shrek movie. So ColourPop, I want that green themed Shrek palette, please. Thank you. Because if anybody's going to do a Shrek collaboration, it's going to be ColourPop. I want to, and if it happens, I just want everyone to know that I called it first. I called the Shrek ColourPop collab because I feel like they have to do something to mark 20 years of Shrek. So we'll see. Balls in your court, ColourPop. But anyway, those are all my thoughts and opinions and just general predictions for 2021 beauty trends. Remember, I'm no psychic. I just used a mixture of educated guesses and looking at former trends to make my opinions. I would love to hear from you. What do you think we're going to see in 2021? Is there anything that you're surprised I didn't cover? Or is there anything you really hope doesn't happen? I'd love to know what you think is going to happen versus what you want to happen, because I feel like oftentimes that's very different. So anyway, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me. I'm really excited to get a few more XLmas videos out, and then I will be taking a couple of days break in January, but I'm ready to go back into it again. I haven't stopped thinking about all the things that I want to do in the new year, and I'm very excited. So thank you so much for all of your support and encouragement. It means so much to me. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.